Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Moontime Devotions. We are here 5 in the morning. Welcome to episode 4. We've got a lot in store today. I hope you all are waking up nice and early and you're getting your little notebooks and your pencils and writing utensils ready, if you will, to join in for a new episode. We are very excited. This is episode 4. Like in episode 3, we have good news to share. We have good news to share. Exciting new advancements, updates for our YouTube channel. We're still working on getting that Patreon the description. We're still getting the link ready, that is, for the description. We have the guys behind the scenes doing that. Again, wanted to thank everyone for the most recent donations. We have got some new equipment. Let's just jump into the news. Woo! As always, you are getting our videos live, raw, and uncensored, and unrefined, and undefined, if you will, nowadays. And anyway, so one of the newest advancements in our updates of what's going on our YouTube channel is we have gotten a donation from one of our wonderful subscribers. It was Boogeyman57. Thank you so much, Boogeyman57. Your donation of $20 has given us a brand new lamp that we can use for our show. We didn't have enough to get the light bulb, but we had enough to get the lamp. And so now we have a new lamp available for our show. This is going to be so helpful. Okay, this is made in Vietnam. Indoor use only. Really nice lamp, and it's a little loose there on the end, but it doesn't matter. What we could do is we can use this in the background or in the corner, and this can be stage lights. This is stage light. So this is our stage. So thank you, Boogeyman57, for our new stage light. We're so excited to have this. This is such a gift, and we of course encourage everyone on our YouTube channel to feel free to donate whatever you want, and it will be used for our show for future episodes. So this goes out to you, Boogeyman57. Enough of that. So now, folks, what to say, where to begin, and where to start. It's like a bunch of husky puppies and tall weeds, and on a Halloween or fall night, if you will. Decorative days. We have decorative days coming. We have decorative days coming. So the state of the world is definitely in a Panasonic tailspin right now. I haven't had said it in the last episodes as much, but our non-reinforcemental Panasonic state of the world is in a tailspin. So our first video, right? We talked about power, convenience, safety. Then we talked about love, action, productivity, right? And then we talked about traveling is the most rewarding way to go, or to travel is the most rewarding go-to way. And now today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the state of the world. And the state of the world, or the world around us, at least if you watch the news, you could see that the world is definitely in a Panasonic tailspin of epic proportions. Now, that's just one way to look at the the way the climate is cooking. But really, it's like throwing a baby in an oven, regardless of environmental issues. We have a lot of breakups of cultures and groups, and we have clash. We have all these divisions. In one of my other episodes, I talked about the unnatural divisions of mankind, and we're seeing that more and more every day as we live as human beings. And of course, I've heard the argument that nothing ever changes, right? Excuse me, I had to rub my eyes. Still waking up, folks. It's 4 in the morning. We don't even know how we're awake, but we're awake and we're doing this, talking about the state of the world, the Panasonic tailspin for the decorative days to come. Now, look, here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. It's pretty crazy how the unnatural divisions of mankind and the world is separating into all these different sectors. And it's too bad. It's too bad, but it's the argument on the other side of the rainbow, right? On the other side of the rainbow, where there ain't no leprechaun gold, is where we really can see the apples to apple. You know, the other argument of the apples to apples of what's going on in the rest of the world is that it's the same old thing. It's the same old dirty old tug of rope that dog been chewing on for thousands and thousands of years. And I think that's a pretty good argument, because nothing has changed. Even though every day, rapidly, we get to see our world change, and for the better or for the worse. And it's kind of like a cycle. It's almost kind of like a Moontime cycle of devotions. It's almost like a Moontime cycle of devotions. The way the world is rapidly changing over and over again. One day it might be really good, the next day it might be really bad. Either way, we still gotta live. We still gotta brush our teeth and go to bed. So that's another one way to look at it, right? So there's my first point, is some people look at it as it's a repetitive cycle and nothing's ever going to change, and we can just kind of adapt as we go along the way. Now, my second point, I guess, for me, for my personal Moontime devotions, I try to look at the light of the world. I like to say, well, it's got to get worse before it gets better, right? And so, seeing everything that's happening that is, could be considered bad depending on what you believe, and your political preference, and your sexual preference, and your cultural preference, and your preferences, and your opinions, and your buttocks, because everybody's got one. That's the skincare and manicure of your facial opinion and ideal situation of what you want in the world, of what you want. And so you can situate it that way. You can really wrap it around. It's like an apple core. You eat around the apple till you get to the core, right? And so I like to think that you got to get through the worst to get to the best, right? So those are our 5. We're gonna have 5 points today, hopefully. But yeah, some people say nothing's ever gonna change. Some people say it's got to get worse before it gets better. And I like to think that maybe it doesn't got to get the worse before it gets better. And that's what I think. I think as things continue to fall apart and change, maybe for the worse, it'll get a lot more clear as time goes by. As time goes by. Oh, there's our neighbor. It's our daily milkman coming to drive by and checking to see if our neighbors wants local milk. See, we live in a small town here out in the mountains of Reading. I don't know if I've what's the word? Still waking up, of course. Still waking up in the Moontime devotions, and we barely have time to really say our syllables and our letters of the words we're trying to say as we stumble along the way. But yeah, our milkman, he likes to come around. We live in a small town, where you can really things haven't progressed as quickly as it has in the bigger cities. Like I said, I was just in Florida and LA, Texas, Colorado, I was in Denver. The big cities, they're far along the way. It's like a sci-fi movie. I live in a small town. I'm still used to simple things, right? Simple, and not in the sense of cultural achievements or social achievements or social justice or none of that specifically, but that is definitely included in all of it. But anyway, back to my point, right? So we have our third point probably would be gathering the opinions of others. Some people like to ask a loved one or a special person that they really like what they think about the state of the world, and they latch on to that, you know, and it's almost a form of attachment, of emotional attachment, and grabbing onto, if you will, of a codependent, emotional, empathic way of figuring out what you feel about the world, right? So some people think it's never going to change. Some people think it's got to get worse before it gets better. Ooh, it's stupid. And some people think, well, they don't think. They rather let someone else think for them that they love and hold dear to their heart. And so there's three ways you could think about the state of the world. Now I'm going to throw a fourth way at you. I'm going to throw a fourth way at you of how we could look at the state of the world. And that is you don't. The fourth way is you bury your head in the rock, you know. You're right like this. I don't want to see how the world is going to be. And that's what you can do on your fourth option there. Some people like to live under the rock. They don't ever want to stick their head out of that little pit in the dirt, you know, with the worms and their grass. They got their I like to think of SpongeBob, SpongeBob, and Patrick the Star in SpongeBob, right? He lives under his rock, and under his rock he's got his little sand couch and chair, and he's got his book, and so some people like to do the Patrick Star. They like to be under the rock, and they don't need to know about the state of the world. Frankly, they don't care. You know, they don't need to know the state of affairs of humanity, or if you know, some kind of initial threat might be coming to their location. You know, some kind of local threat to their town. They don't need to know, right? And I guess some people say that ignorance, still wicked. Ignorance is bliss, and that's the Patrick Star view of the state of the world. And that's the fourth. That is my fourth one. But there's, of course, many different ways to look at the state of the world, I think. So my fifth one, I will jump on that fifth one here as I take a drink of coffee. Just pardon me, just for a 2 seconds. I tell you, nothing gets me going in the morning for a Moontime devotion better than a nice cup of joe. You know, Peggy Lee wrote a nice song back in the day called "Happiness is Just a Thing Called Joe." And I'd always like to think, you know, happiness is just a thing called Joe, a cup of joe, a cup of coffee. And I have loved coffee for a long time. You might even say I have a fixation on caffeinated drinks when it comes to the caliber of coffee and different coffee strains. I think mocha is definitely one of my go-to favorite contents of beverages you could enjoy in the morning. So count that as a joy and a blessing and a Pictionary game. Woo! So, that's a blast right there. That's a quick 30 seconds to the left, and that's auto defrost in the mind to really get the center or the circle. So, power, convenience, and safety, love action, productivity. Traveling is the most rewarding way to go, and the Panasonic state of the world is in a tailspin, depending on how much softness you have in your perspective, in your eyes, in your heart, and on your head and shoulders. Head and shoulders, you know, head and shoulders, and right angle ball pin, right angle elbow. Right, so right in the elbow, right in the head and shoulders, and right in the heart. And that's the softness you need to really fairly look at what the state of the world may or may not be, and sterilize that as you auto defrost it in your mind for 30 seconds. So I mean, there's 3 levels to that. 3 levels to that. And of course, folks, it's always going to be an easy, clean interior. Or it should be. You want an easy, clean interior, as decorated days are coming. Decorated days are, in fact, on the fall, near fall, or near the winter on the way. Speaking of the weather phenomenon lately, possibly nothing new under the sun, as they say in the Bible. Ooh, zava. Possibly nothing new under the sun, when they say in the Bible, when it comes to weather patterns, but there is some interesting weather happening a lot right now around the world. We have earthquakes. This state, in fact, California, in particular, is seeing more precipitation than we've had ever seen in some of the regions in the state, especially the Riverside, LA area. There is a lot more rain than we ever could consider in the past. I think we got up to 5 inches 4 or 5 days ago, just south of Anaheim, and those areas, you know, downtown LA areas, some of the outskirts cities. That's really interesting. So there's flooding in San Diego too. Down in San Diego, we have flooding, and funny enough, disregarding the last couple videos, there was nothing but rain. But you know, there's no more rain here in the Redding of Cali, and that's very fun and enjoyable. But you know, without the rain, it's been a little chilly. It's been a little chilly, and so we've definitely had to bundle up. I'm always wearing my coat. I wear my 3-layer coat. When it's this cold, I need 3 layers. So I wear my long sleeve, I wear my coat, and then I wear my coat. I call it the long sleeve coat. The sleeve of a coat. And that keeps you warm. Warmer than a bundle of sticks sitting by a fire. If you want to interpret it that way. Some people like gunny sacks. You know, they get the poncho and the gunny sack, and they put that around their spinal cord, and it keeps them warmer. I was told that if you cover up with clothing your sensory and the areas where your nerves are, and your nerve endings, if you cover those up, those tend to get the coldest versus all the other parts of your body. And so it ends up being kind of like cotton, right? Your body just turns into this big fluffy cotton ball, and you can stay warm. You can stay warm, and you can also be sweet. And then, hey, what do you got? You got cotton candy. And so I always loved to eat cotton candy 58 quarts down the way. You know. But, you know, that's just one glass jar look of how you could be warm in a cold climate. There's a lot of states out there where it's very cold, like Alaska and Antarctica. They got a city in Antarctica and Alaska. I wonder how they look at the state of the world in Alaska. See, I think they're too cold. Okay, so there's that. So, what was our fifth? So, our fifth point, I guess, today, when it comes to the Panasonic tailspin of the state of the world, excuse me, I would say some people like to jump into it, right? So that's my fifth point. My fifth point is when people look at some people look at the state of the world, what they like to do is they like to jump into the world, get involved with every possible opportunity they're given or that's in their vicinity, meeting everyone they can, doing everything they can, and just experiencing and enjoying the world before them in every major possible way that's available to them, or that might not be available to them but is achievable by some means. And I think that's another great way of looking at the world. I'm kind of mixed with that. I'm kind of mixed with point 2 and point 5, right? I think things will get worse before they get better when it comes to large scale of negative things or objectives that happen that we kind of out of our control. I think those tend, when it comes on a worldly scale, those seem to be out of our control. And so I feel like I'm more of a second kind of thing, and then the fifth kind of person, where let's get involved. Let's jump into the world. Let's do what we can to be happy, wake up, smile, pray, eat, go outside, look at the sun. Don't look at the sun too long, but, look at the sun once in a while, for a little bit. Wear sunglasses, safe practice, of course, no matter what you're doing. Love action, productivity too, but jump into the world. The world is here for us to interact with and to survive in and to thrive with with everyone around us. Everyone's doing the same thing, unless I woke up in the wrong world, but no, we're all doing the same thing, and we're all just happy to be in each other's company, and there's so much joy you can have by jumping into a world that's not perfect, right? There's my fifth point, is jump into the world when it's not perfect, in a more specific statement. That's what I think about the state of the world. And so there's 5 ways you can look at the state of the world and sterilize everything in your mind, easy clean up interior. Whether you're in the US of A, or in Czechoslovakia, or Malaysia, or Africa, there's many different places in the world. Of course, here in America, I will say that we are, how do I put this nicely? We are very well provisioned here in America, and we have access to more resources, and in return, we pretty much have a little more entitlement than some of these other countries. I think some places in Africa that there's no water, and there's not a lot of food, and people don't have shelters, and so I think maybe I'm speaking out of bounds here, but I think we're okay in America. I think we can be grateful to be here. But maybe I'm overstepping, so please let me know in the comments if that's inappropriate, because maybe that's inappropriate. But, I don't think people can, I don't think there's a lot of freedom of speech like in Africa, or some parts of Africa, or some parts of Malaysia, or like in North Korea, I don't think there's a lot of as many freedoms, but I think that we have here in America. But, I could be totally wrong, maybe we shouldn't be grateful, but regardless, that's up to you to decide. That kind of goes to my 6th point, I guess. There's my 6th point, my cup of coffee, my 6th point. My 6-point shooter, here we go. So my sixth point of the state of the world in the Panasonic tailspin, in which it seems like it is, one particular view that people like to look at the world, is that we can be grateful. We could be grateful to be alive. We could be grateful to be happy. And we could be grateful for the little things that we do have, right? as I said earlier, there is a certain amount of entitlement that I think can fairly be disparaged between a lot of Americans. Only talking for myself, right? I can only take responsibility for myself. I can't really say for anybody else. But living in this country, in America, as I have, I can definitely say that I've been extremely entitled, and I've had a lot of privilege, if you will, to have everything I've ever wanted. And so I'm grateful. In short, I am grateful for everything. I can only talk for myself. Don't cancel me. Don't drop the needle yet. You know, we got easy, clean interior here, so definitely going to. This is our opinionated blog, though we might join a little coil of opinions here, which is fine. You know, just keep the comment section clean and safe and happy for the YouTube algorithm. Our videos are always uncensored regardless of what YouTube wants. And, yeah. But, regardless, my sixth point was to be grateful and be happy. And just be so happy because the state of the world is beautiful. And you can always be mindful with the little things that you do have, whether it's food, water, if you have that stuff, you know, for wiping your, you know what, after you've taken a little hiatus, if you will, a little 10-minute hiatus to go in the secret place, if you will, and do what you gotta do. We've got resources. I think gratefulness is the key to really looking at the state of the world. Because no matter what's going on in the state of the world, and this kind of might go back to some of the other points I was making, but regardless, it does not matter. You can always be grateful. You can always be happy. That's always been an underlining theme here in the Moontime Devotions, is just happiness and gratefulness and positivity, and spreading that happiness amongst yourselves and amongst all the people around you, bringing the light back into what could seem like a dark world. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, to be thankful, just to be happy for what you got. Like, I love this cup of coffee. It makes me happy, and I'm grateful that I have it. And you know, even though a lot of things in my life are not perfect, or what some might call good, I can always look at it in the light of their first world problems, and we can always be more appreciative of what we have. And so that's my little life lesson for myself this morning, is to remind myself that it's good to be grateful. And when I catch myself looking at the state of the world around me, I can choose to be thankful, grateful, and appreciative with an easy, clean interior on how I view the lens of the world. You know, you've got to clean your lenses of how you see the world. It's like everyone's wearing glasses, right? It's like you're wearing googly goggles. You're wearing underwater goggles or glasses. And those things get fogged up. They get little specks of dirt. They get smudges, smears. They get things in the way, and you got to clean them off. You got to make sure that you're cleaning them all the time. Easy clean out, interior type method. I like to use a little cloth, or I like to use my shirt. Sometimes I use my shirt. Wipe those off, you know. Sometimes you're not wearing glasses, and you just need to wipe your eyes and wake up and see, hey, wake up and smell that coffee. You've got a happy life. And that's another beautiful way to consider it. And so, yes, folks, we are definitely waking up a little quicker now. We're getting better at this agenda and this routine of starting this Moontime Devotions channel, YouTube channel. Let's jump into the news again, before I got distracted. I jumped into the news for a second, and then I got distracted. These videos are completely unedited. Forgive us, folks. We're still getting those organized. Eventually, one of these days, we'll get a teleprompter or such, and still remain uncensored. But right now, you're just getting it as raw as unfiltered sugar. So, in the news, folks, as I told you before, Boogeyman57 has donated our studio light, and we're very thankful for him. We thank that man very much, or woman, for the studio light, so we can use that in future episodes. Another example of good news, or not example, but another celebrated piece of news that I wanted to share with everyone is we have 3 subscribers. Moontime Devotions now has 3 subscribers. We are growing, folks, exponentially. I never thought that we would get 3, even 1 subscriber on this YouTube channel, and yet now we have 3. We have 3, so hallelujah. We're so thankful to have you, folks. If you're watching this right now, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you. There's all 3 of you. You folks are the people that are keeping this channel alive. You're sweet souls, and we really hope that the life advice on this channel is really giving you a poke in the heart and the ear lobe and in the back of your head as you go out through your day. Because we're so excited on this vlog to try to share with people life advice that we've gathered over the years. And it's just a joy and a blessing to have you on board with us. So we thank you so much for our 3 subscribers, and we would love to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section. I definitely left a lot of things to talk about in today's episode. So feel free to jump into that and let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if you need money, if you need a food or a donation. If you need, we sometimes we give out free Bibles. Sometimes we give out little care packages. Whatever you may need, folks, give a call. Maybe you just want to call. Maybe you're feeling lonely and you don't have nobody to talk to, and you just want to talk to someone on the side of the street. Feel free, folks. Leave your phone number and we'll call you. We'll set you up. We'll send you stuff in the mail. You'll join our mailing list, and you can get updates. You can get our newsletter. Our Moontime Devotions newsletter is the next part of news that we have. We have now a Moontime Devotions newsletter that we will be also putting in the description by the Patreon when we get that.